This is the easiest way to lose £100,000 per year SaaS business. Coming from somebody who's made all of these mistakes, this is exactly what you should avoid when launching your first app. Now, back in April 2023, I launched my app, ChatIQ, and I started to see some fairly good success. I was making some money from it. I was making about £150 per day, £200 per day, and then it got to the point that my business was actually scaling too quickly. I was constantly hitting usage limits. Now, coming from a non-technical founder, this was insane. This was the first app that I had ever built, and I had scaled it to thousands of users in a very, very short period of time. I was making thousands of pounds from this app, and I just didn't know what the hell was going on. I had never built anything like this before. It was scaling faster than anything that I had ever experienced. But within just a few short weeks of launching this product through TikTok, and I'll explain my marketing strategy in a minute, I managed to get 1,500 users for this product. But you'll notice that everything dropped off a cliff and just fell to zero in a matter of days. And that's what I want to explain in this video. But to understand how that happened, we need to understand how I got my first users. And I did all of this through TikTok. This is my TikTok account where I launched the product. I had 40 followers on the account, and I thought I was a genius. I thought I was a wizard at marketing because I'd done a lot of stuff in the past, but as you can see, results don't lie. I was getting no views on any of my videos. I had no idea how to create content at all. The product that I had launched looked terrible. Okay, this is not something that I was particularly wanting on my website, but I knew I had to get it out there. But a lot of people saw the value in this and saw that I was constantly updating it and making it better, so they signed up to the product. Until eventually I had a video which got a few 100,000 views, and I started to skyrocket the growth of my business. And this was a strategy that I adopted for the first couple of weeks of growing this business. Basically, I had built the product, it was kind of working, and I just continued to post videos telling people that the product was amazing, scaling it rapidly, bringing on thousands of users for this product. Until one day I woke up and everything had gone wrong. Now, before I tell you why this happened, I just want to be human with you for a second. This is probably the most exciting period of my life. At the time, I was honestly just losing it every day. I was so excited. I was so pleased. I was so happy that this was working. I had always wanted to create apps. I'd always wanted to learn how to build things and get people actually using it. And the fact that I had 1,500 people right now who are actively using my product, messaging me, telling me that they loved it, telling me what they wanted to see from it, was just the most exciting experience of my life. And the last thing that I wanted to happen was to lose this. This was basically, in my head, my way out. This was where I wanted to be for the next 5-10 years. And I'd finally been given a chance to make this work. Until one day I woke up and I received this notification from Stripe. They wanted to review my account. Now, if you've ever run a business before and you've used Stripe and you've had an email like this, you will know the sinking feeling that I was going through, the pit in my stomach. I had 1,500 people currently on free trials for this app. That is over $22,500 in monthly recurring revenue that I was waiting to collect through this Stripe account. But Stripe had decided that I was operating a financial model that didn't comply with their terms of service. Essentially, if I click this button here and provide them with additional information, they will terminate my Stripe account and I will lose all of my progress up until this point. And that is exactly what happened. This graph demonstrates the decimation that Stripe put upon my business. And basically, they just wiped out my account, which meant I could no longer process payments. I still had hundreds of people trying to sign up to my app per day, but I had no way of accepting payments. Basically, within a 24-hour period, my business had gone from making a potential of $22,000 in recurring revenue within just 2 weeks of launch to making a guaranteed zero. Every single paying customer who'd signed up for my app up until now could no longer access their accounts. I could no longer accept their monthly recurring payments from them. There was no way that this business was going to succeed. The point that I wanted to make from this video is when you build your first business, you have to be expecting these sorts of failures. And because I'd run multiple businesses before, this is something that I knew could happen. Now, there's a few things that I could have done at this point. I had already planned a week away with my brother to go to Portugal and essentially spend it on holiday. So I could have decided to give up, forget the whole thing, move on to the next project. or I could have found a solution to this problem. But I decided just to continue building this thing. I decided to continue marketing it. Only thing that I could do was give the app away for free. So I completely unlocked the entire thing, and I went away for a week with my brother to Portugal. But at the time, Matthew had agreed to help me with ChatIQ. And at this time, I had never been so stressed in my entire life. I was working on this business which was guaranteed to fail, and he was helping me market and continue bringing on new customers, but there was no way of making any money from this. So we spent 50% of our time working on the business and 50% of our time essentially trying to relax. This has got to be one of the most stressful holidays that Matthew and I went on. But because of this holiday, because of the time that we spent on this, that I dedicated to this, I managed to turn the business round. So I then relaunched this product with a brand new Stripe account, and within just a matter of days, 174 people signed up to a paid trial. And we were doing about $2,000 to $3,000 in monthly recurring revenue again through my new Stripe account. And I continued to scale this product with my brother. And then 4,500 users later, this thing was growing like crazy. So within the space of a week, I'd managed to turn this business around. It had gone from making over £100,000 per year down to zero, back to making some good money again. But at this time, I had a problem on my hand, because after this holiday, I had agreed to help my friend sail a boat from Scotland down to the south coast of England. So I essentially, after having gone through this ordeal of losing a $22,000 a month business, then relaunching it and getting it up to about $2,000 to $3,000 per month in a matter of days, I then had to fly back from Portugal, get a train up to Scotland, get on my friend's boat, and then spend a week sailing it down without any internet connection, without any time to work on this business. So I did it. I said, well, the business is going to either fail or it's going to succeed. I needed a break from everything. I just left it as it was. I went up to Scotland. My friend and I spent a whole week sailing his boat down, and it was the most amazing experience. Basically, just the two of us in the middle of the ocean sailing this boat while my business was still trying to scale, going through all of these problems. And every now and again, when we had no wind or we weren't able to sail, I would sit there and do whatever work I could. And actually, I remember shipping some brand new features while just sailing down from Scotland. We had the most amazing experience. We had some incredibly bad weather. I remember there were some times at 6 in the morning just leaning over the edge of the boat, throwing up with seasickness. We were doing 15, 13-hour days of sailing. It was exhausting. But there were some days where it was worth it. There were days where we spent it on anchor, where I could actually sit down below decks, working on the app, just adding some new features, talking to payment providers, and just working whenever I could find the time. And then wake up the next morning at 5 a.m. at sunrise and then do another 15-hour sail with dolphins off the boat. And it was just the most crazy experience. So what happened next? Well, a lot goes into the following story, and it continued to scale over the following years. I still run the business today. This gamble paid off. So the point that I'm trying to make here is, just because your business is going well, just because it's your dream to get something working, doesn't mean you should give up on everything else. I went through an awful lot when launching this product. There's an awful lot that I made mistakes on. I shouldn't really have spent so much time traveling and going on holiday. I shouldn't really have sailed my friend's boat down from Scotland, and I probably should have spent more time working on the product and marketing. But at the same time, had I not done that stuff, I wouldn't have gone through the stuff that I'd got through to get to where I am now. But at the same time, I'm glad that I did do these things, because I look back at these pictures, and every single picture and every single video has some sort of memory for me and my brother and me growing this business. Whether it succeeds in the future or whether it fails, it doesn't matter. But everything I learned along the way has enabled me to get to where I am in my business and how much money I'm now making from my businesses. And I can still tell stories of me sailing this boat from Scotland down to England. I can tell stories of me working, building my SaaS while out to sea, or watching dolphins dive in front of the boat. So basically, if you're building a product or you're building a SaaS or some sort of business, have fun while you're doing it. Don't put too much pressure on the outcome. Just work on it day by day. And if things go wrong, don't give up, because at some point you'll be happy that you didn't, and you'll be happy that things did turn out the way that they did. And now, as a result of that, 2 years later, I'm building multiple SaaS products for clients. I build SaaS products for myself. All of that is because of everything that happened with ChatIQ. It may not be the life-changing product that I hoped it would be at the start, but it's the product that put me on the path that I am right now. But if you guys want to learn how to build your own apps or get your first users, click the link down below in this video and I will show you how to build an app using AI to do all of the coding. But you want to see more behind the scenes of me building this software, go ahead and check out the other videos on my channel.